Such a nasty one.
Nasty women are tough. Nasty women are smart. And nasty women vote.
America is still a great country, and it is still worth fighting for.
I'm not giving up, and neither should you.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Nasty Women Nation podcast. Thank you guys so much for listening tonight. We have a lot to talk about with all the marches behind us and the inauguration and all the crazy shenanigans that the GOP have been up to in the past couple days. I am Ray. I'm here with Wendy and Kara. We are from Houston. We've also got Dex and Katie joining us from Colorado Springs. We've got Aaron in Austin, and we've got Kelly from Illinois. We're going to jump right in and recap some of the marches. I know majority of us got a chance to go. We actually drove up from Houston to Austin and got to hang out with all the fantastic ladies and gentlemen that were up there for that. One of the things that I really, really wanted to talk about is that so many of these marches had so many more people than what anybody was expecting, especially DC. DC was just killing it with like 500,000 people.
Well, I mean, when you look at Los Angeles, they were expecting 50,000 people. They ended up with 750,000 people. I mean, that's pretty damn impressive. And, you know, we had here in Houston, they were not going to have a march. And last week, they decided to go ahead and have a march here in Houston, which, you know, we're the fourth largest city in the United States. And they started organizing the march last week, and we had over 24,000 people just in a few days. So it was pretty impressive.
That's pretty awesome. Katie, you actually went up to Denver for the march there. What was that one like?
I did. I drove up to go with my oldest sister, and it was insane. Like, we got on the light rail further south from the Civic Center, and the line, first off, we couldn't find a parking spot in the light rail parking. We had to park like 3 blocks away and walk. And the line just to buy tickets for the light rail was like probably 40 people long. You know, we got on the train. We were packed in the train like sardines about 2 stops away from our original getting on point. And so like the last 3 stops, people we were like, we can't fit anybody else on. Like, sorry guys, you're gonna have to wait. And then when we got there, we ended up going to Union Station and walking down 16th Street. And the route went from Civic Center down 17th and then looped around and came back down 15th. So we actually ended up getting kind of into the shorter end of the parade route or the march route, and but it was just astonishing. Like, I was trying to connect with some other people, and they were like, we're still back at the park. Like, they somehow jumped ahead of everybody, and they were like, we're not even moving right now. Like, there were so many people, and it was really nice to see. I mean, it was a good demographic. There were quite a lot of men there, which was really nice. It was probably, just based on my visual estimation, it was probably still more like 60% white people, you know, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but it is, as several people have pointed out in the last couple of days, like, where y'all been? How y'all showing up? But and it's good to see people out there marching. It's just hopeful that we can sustain this kind of momentum and kind of energy and focus it on the other issues that need to be done. So, but yeah, all told, I think the current numbers say somewhere in the vicinity of 200,000 people, wow, which is just crazy. And the aerial shots from Civic Center. I mean, when you think about that, we only had 50,000 less people than showed up to the Orange Tangerines, you know, inauguration, no matter what he tries to claim. Like, and that was in one city. So, way to go, Denver.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. It was huge turnouts, huge, bigly crowds.
Oh, jeez.
They were likely.
Aaron, I know. Well, we were actually trying to meet up with you in Austin, and we were never able to. We couldn't even move from where we were set up.
Yeah.
What
yeah,
did you
same
experience? Because I think you were actually on the other side of the Capitol from where we were.
Yeah, we were. I went with a big group of friends. It was amazing. It was absolutely amazing. It was incredibly respectful and peaceful. So where we ended up, we were on the west side of the Capitol, and we got shuttled into the center runway heading out to the march. And we actually were stuck there for an hour. And people weren't moving. I mean, it was just so jam-packed. We ended up leaving and just taking a side route back out of the Capitol to go back down to the parade route. We kept calling it a parade because it was so much fun. We weren't even calling it a protest.
There were balloons. There were costumes.
there were costumes, and we got back to the protest route, and it was just the whole thing was just amazing. And it's being surrounded by so many like-minded people. I mean, I got teared up several times just because feeling like, it's so much bigger than me and we're all here together. This is what America can be. This is how things can be done. It doesn't have to be contentious. And it was just really a really great experience. And I don't know about you guys, but I had a great time. I think protesting really suits me because you get to, do fun arts and crafts and make signs, and then you get to go and dress up and hang out with people and chant and cheer and do all of those fun things. And so I really, really dug it.
Yeah, no, it was a great experience. I know not all of us got to go to some of these marches, so I know, Dex, you were online, and I'm sure you were seeing some crazy stuff unfolding throughout the day. What were some of the things that you saw hitting the internet?
I think probably the biggest thing that was hitting the internet that wasn't hitting the internet actually was that everything was so peaceful, and there was I was getting no reports of any kind of violence or rioting or anything like that, which is what everybody was expecting, or at least everybody on the other side was expecting. But I was just really amazed at how everybody was coming together, and everything was very peaceful, and it was just great. There were the alternative facts. Is that what they were calling it?
Yeah.
There were a few alternative fact attempts, but there wasn't really anything bad that I could see. It was just I just kept getting more and more amazed as time went on, like how many people were showing up and how many people were coming in, getting behind it. One of the best things that I saw, though, was Melissa Benoist, who plays Supergirl on CW, was holding a sign that said, "Don't try to grab my pussy, it's made of steel." And I was like, oh my God, that's my girl right there.
I loved the celebrity turnout for this, and for all the people that
Ashley Judd. My God,
all the people that refused to go to the inauguration, and then just watching these different celebrities turn out in droves. I think me and Wendy, one of our favorites was Sir Ian McKellen, was out there protesting, and he had a sign that was like Patrick Stewart doing the face palm. I was like, that's so awesome. And people discount the celebrities and they're just rich people, they shouldn't have opinions, but it's like they're also, plenty of these people are Americans. They're just as entitled to their opinions as you are. They just have a soapbox that spans a lot further than most of us. So more power to them if they're going to do that. Kelly, what about you? What were some of the things that you were seeing over the internet as the day went on the Women's March Day?
I was watching a lot of the videos and watching a lot of the speeches going on. Ashley Judd's speech was amazing. I also, one of the most moving parts I saw was the Native woman singing the Native song. I didn't catch too much of the beginning of it, so I didn't hear if there was a title or anything, but it was just so powerful, and it moved me to tears, and everybody just was quiet for that part during the video. And that, I think, was one of the most memorable parts for me. And then seeing, all the artists that were represented there. Karen Hallian was all excited that her art was at a couple of marches, and that was awesome. And just watching all of the news was amazing. So it was so moving to be able to watch that. Even if we were still home, we were still part of that behind the scenes, a lot of us. So that was just amazing to be able to watch the culmination of so many people come to such a peaceful protest and be so much different than what a lot of people expected of us, which was kind of weird.
Now, again, we drove up to Austin, but there was bus after bus after bus of people that were being shipped in. I know to Austin for our march, as there were to marches all over the country, all over the world. Kara, you actually took the bus up there. What was the experience like going up? Was the vibe even crazier coming back? What was that like for you?
So first, I just want to say that I did pay for my own bus ticket. George Soros or whatever did not fund our bus. So this bus that I took, it was sold out. It was like a second bus, and it got sold out like before January even. There was so many people trying to get on these various buses from around Houston to get to Austin. On the bus, it was a good vibe. It was a little bit of maybe anxiety. Like, everybody was just a bit excited to get there and to get it going and feeling really pumped up. But the mood on the way back was completely different because we'd had this amazing experience. I mean, again, none of us expected the kind of turnout that we saw. Like, I mean, I thought, 20,000 people, maybe. I really thought that those estimates, when they were saying we're expecting, 22 to 25,000, I was like, there's no way that's possibly going to happen. I was like, maybe we'll get 20,000. So we were blown away. And the mood on the way back, everyone broke out their wine. And it was just, there was so much excitement, and everyone was just feeling really pumped up. So it was really good. And even though I didn't know anyone else on the bus, I'm really glad that I did it and that I got to have that experience just of being with so many strangers who I know were all feeling the same way that I do. And there was just a lot of really good camaraderie there.
Yeah, it was great for everyone. I don't know anybody that went that just wasn't blown away by the turnout, with the camaraderie, with the incredibly impressive amount of signs and just the creativity that went into some of these. I think we saw more than one, Donald Trump paper mache head that people were trumping around with. See what I did there? Trumping. Get it? But yeah, I mean, it was just incredible. And I even had a friend of ours that was up at Sundance at the Chelsea Handler March, and I talked to her earlier, and she was just saying how incredible it was to see, you have all these celebrities up there for the film festival, but they're taking time out away from that to go and join the march with all of these thousands of people. I mean, it's just incredible. Of course, we still have a lot of work left to do, but we'll get back to that a little bit later.
I do want to say one more thing just in regards to all the talking we were doing about the peaceful protesting, and because I think it's really important to mention, and I know that some other people have mentioned it online, but the fact that this shows so clearly the way the police interact with a crowd that is predominantly white females versus another crowd, because let's make no mistakes, it was fun, we were jovial, people were excited, but we were also very angry. There were a lot of very pointed signs in Denver. There was a lot of, chanting, about Trump get out, stuff like that. People weren't doing it for fun, even though it was fun, but the tone and the manner in which the police treated us was so very different. And I think people always need to be aware of that. And I just wanted to speak to that to make sure that, that we recognize that this went so well, and there were there were no arrests. And as a woman in DC pointed out, they stopped an arrest in DC because they stood up for the guy who was accused of, he intervened with some Trump supporters and they threw the first punch, and then the police tried to arrest him.